one of those rock and roll classics that just keeps a growing and a growing. The more you hear of it, the more you want to hear of it, the more you do hear in it. You begin to experience it again in that multi-dimensional presence that it's given in, babies, and the whole reality around you is caving in because of that. See, it's the end of the world as we know it, and it better be, because enough of this selfish, stupid, thoughtless, shallow reality. We got to live a little beyond the requirements of the 3D now, don't we? That's living truth flowing to you, babies, and through you into conscious expression around you from, the old grandmother of love up here and, high above at 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, with this little spaceship love. Yeah, you got the guy, man. Pope Mary Jane, man. Well, two. Yeah, as Grandpa Coyote and Okie Kenobi, and I am personified as Pope Mary Jane too, but it's kind of I'll let you in on it. It's a little, satiric in its expression that way, you see. Because I look at another person, and what do I see there? Pope Mary J. Everywhere I look, man, everybody should be riding around in a limo today, man, smiling and waving at the peasants as they pay their respects as you flow by, gently, slowly, gracefully expressing your beautiful persona for all to see. But guess what? Everybody else is riding around in one too, so we're all together in that, man. So we just take turns, being the audience and being in the papal limousine, there could be like 6, 10 of us in a parade, maybe a 12, 14, 15, whatever, but no more than that, okay? That's enough, It gets boring after that, all them stretch limos that fly and, go multi-dimensional with just a blink of an eye. I mean, all you gotta do is flick a switch. Well, you don't even have to do that, really, because these kind of automobiles, they know what you want to do before you do, man. They already got you there before you realize you needed to be there, okay? See, it's the way it works here, man. When you get beyond the 3D, babies, you become liquid in form. Yeah, see, but, well, we are liquid in form anyway, you old bag of water, you. What is we? 99% water and 1% what else? It's all love, baby. And water's there so you can feel, man. It gives you the liquidity, the motion, the movement, So we're going to liquefy a lot of this reality right here, right now, today on this Trippin' Tuesday in that Hazy Radio Network sort of way, hazyradio.com. Baby, you got the flow today coming to you through this. Old man's hard, I tell you. When it comes to trials, well, there's been a lot I've been through, man, but guess what? I live to tell about it. I'm here for you, baby. Holding a little firm anchor in the 3D so, others can, grab on and, sink their little root down and find out what expansion is when you rise above the ground. When your growth goes beyond the atmosphere, And when you get out there to the edge of the atmosphere, dear, well, what do you get there? Well, that's where the multi-dimensional expression begins. Well, it's kind of right here, too, It's a little of both, and it's all of it, all of the above, and, none of the above. No, it's all of it, man, every bit of it, all of it. But see, that's how we kind of experience it, as we grow and blossom into the reality around us. As our energy, in other words, flows into the creation around us, and we feel every dad blasted bit of it, and allow sensitivity to rule here. That's the flow. It's sensitive, really, really sensitive, because it's in the life that surrounds it, as well as the life that fills it from the inside out. You see, it's all created through us into the 3D projected reality. But beyond that is the truthful reality. What you called spirit for a long time, or something else, whatever it was, the ethereal, the unseen world, which was because we were blocked out of it by dimensions. Somebody put a 90-degree turn in the reality somehow, We got blocked out from our family, yet they never went away, and neither did we. We just started living in a parallel existence. And one couldn't see the other. The other could see this, but this couldn't see that, you see. So we were kind of like on the dumb side of things when we're over here. When we pass on to the great beyond, well, guess what? Where's the Rainbow Bridge lead? Right to that kind of netherworld in between things, you know. So you're still awake, but you're still asleep over there, even, you know. Even though there you're reconnected with all life and you feel the great love in it. And then you can respect the life you just lived. What was a miserable piece of doo-doo while you was going through it too, wasn't it, man? See, but that's where you break it down. Normally, when we live it that way, well, you know, as you're approaching your death moment, if it's not a quick one, you get some time to review your life, see what you've really done. You see, in other words, you start to see it from a little grander perspective, the perspective of the eternal heart. Yeah, the rock and roll heart that's in each and every one of us that lives and flies high here, man, way high. See, because when you're multidimensional in your expression, when your extension into life goes beyond the 3D into the reality, then you've got truth. And you live it because you love it. And you'll see the love in everything you've been living, even if it was total ass hatred. You so love to hate. Gave fuel to your fire. See, it's all love. Now let that fire consume you. Let it go. Let it glow. Let it take away the medicine of good and evil, don't you know, and be in the flow of love. Like all these beautiful, tuneful melodies we got going on here today in that hazy radio sort of way at Spring Creek, exclusively on that hazy radio network, hazyradio.com. Do we get it on or what, man? You know, it's a tripping Tuesday, baby. We got to learn to express ourselves more expansively and let ourselves just go with that beautiful trip and flow, man. It's like being permanently on LSD, but way beyond the 3D, but living in it as a reality. Ain't no hallucination, baby. It's what we made of it. You see, and now we're starting to awaken into the world beyond the 3D because we're extending our feeling presence into that. And that brings us home, baby. That is the simple way. It's happening right here, right now, today. You don't gotta wait. Just go with the flow, which is the glow of your heart. The all-consuming flame that wipes out the illusion and shows you quite gracefully that it's all made of love. And therefore, your intentions in it were pure, and therefore, it's experienced now. It's water under the bridge. It's gone back to the great ocean of love in the experiential sort of way and been, you know, absorbed by that ocean. It's just another drop of water in the great flow of life, you know. And babies, we're over it. We're on with it. We're in it. We're in it for love forevermore. Baby, there's peace in there. A whole lot of rock and roll peace. You learn to go with the flow like you've been going, don't you know? See? You remind yourself what you're really doing here in the 3D. It'll make it a little more acceptable to you, man. And it will help the whole dang thing change. Simple change in you, simple change in the reality around you, baby. It's all in the way we see it, the way we be it, the way we allow it to be, the way we allow ourselves to experience it. I don't know about you, but you know, I had enough of the empty presence. I like the full one. I like knowing what's really going on here because it makes me less judgmental, makes me easier to get along with, and it makes my life much simpler too because I see plainly what things are and I don't bullshit myself. And then you move beyond all the old definitions. You start to see the flow of your love in every person of expression around you. Though they might be nuttier than fruitcakes, or they might be as solid as a rock in this life, either way or anything in between, you still see a reality of a person in the 3D that looks a hell of a lot like you and me, all of us put together in each person that is. Beautifully so. Human, the colorful children of the creative life. The mother's love in motion, through whom, see, that's why we've had all these creative habits like music and art, you know, oil on canvas, etc., you know, acrylics, anyone. I mean, we've had all these ways to express in literature and so forth, man, you know, now video, man, and it's awesome. Little teeny people without great big budgets can make all kinds of big budget looking movies these days. A few $100 and you're underway, man. It's amazing what you can do here with this technology. But what is this technology here to remind us of? Why did we allow a sudden leap in the technological side of things, which we knew in another way could end the Earth's life? Because we get so blatant about our industrial ways that we just didn't give a shit. So cold. Yet at the same time, through the coldness comes the desire for the warmth and the return of that warmth. Because our heart creates it. Our mother would have us have it our way. That's why she's allowed us to live it the way we have. But there have been plenty of limitations here, hasn't there? You know, how many times has somebody pushed the big button and nothing's happened? A number of times, I can tell you. A number of times. Who knows what's going on back there right now? You never know about these crackpots in the 3D, do you? That's why we're helping setting them free today, baby, along with the likes of you and me, man. We reach forward from our central heart, which is gathered personally right now in the center of our person. And we send to all these mother-loving beings out there, all of those that are in positions of influence and power, a new way of being. It's awakening to the truth. The heart that lives within us, that perceives everything in what we would call a more reasonable way. It doesn't need judgment to fulfill it or to protect it in any way. It simply rises up and becomes what we are. Living in truth, in a gracious sort of way. That's the message, the energy we convey here today from this Spring Creek place. Inside of each one of us, the place where the life does begin, where the mother love flows forward upon the earth and brings forward all the life that is. Throughout the reality too, man. It begins here, and baby, it never ends. The flow that goes on forever, living a little outside of time, I tell you. See, now the parallel lives become the same life and find an absence of difference. It's the end of oppression then, for each person is considered energetically in equity. We are all the same presence of life, and therefore each person is given what they need here through the heart of the mother love. That's pure magic. That's pure truth in motion. That's rock and that's roll, which is the medicine of heart and soul. Now, babies, I think it's time to ring a few bells in this divine little presence and help some others rise up too, okay? So let's be sharing some great energy as we hear this beautiful arrangement play, okay? Baby, that music's still great, ain't it? I'd say, man, R-O-C-K in the USA. You want to get to heaven? Well, first you got to do a and then you got to take the highway to hell to get yourself to paradise. Babies, that's what we've done, and don't think twice, man. Now you don't even need to look back. Don't have a heart attack, Jack. Take it easy, Jill. There's an easier way to climb that hill that you won't break your crown come tumbling down. You'll come around, 'cause up there we will find, way up in the atmosphere, yeah, a heart of gold made out of what you are, babies. You know, that's what you are. Totally golden, babies, but you know, through the gold comes the purity of the rainbow of creation. It's like the golden sunlight, you know, prismatically makes the rainbow in the sky and the raindrops. Oh, baby. Ooh, you ought to seen it last time. Ooh, what was it? Sonotny. Yeah, baby. Last time Sonotny visited here, oh my goodness. There was a full arched rainbow, but narrowed like the gateway to paradise, man. Just right behind her as she was arriving in and as she was leaving again, man. Rainbows everywhere. Are you like that? Are you one of those real rainbow beings and rainbows follow you around or seem to precede you too, man? Kind of make sure that, you know, you're coming around, you're getting found, you're very protected in that way because it just kind of The rainbow clears the energy for you day after day. Man, I never felt the same about myself or life ever again after the time I just drove right through in the middle of a rainstorm, drove right through the end of the rainbow too, man. And all them raindrops were lit up around me in all glittery rainbow colors. And, wow, I was high as a kite, man, without having to toke anything, man. I'm telling you, man, just fresh air, baby. And we were there, man. It was like, wow. And then you're up in the high altitude of the wilds of Wyoming where the wind never stops blowing, man. But man alive, there we were glowing in that rainbow, going along that highway of life, that Interstate 80 as they call it. I like driving Highway 420. How about you guys, man? That gets us there and gets us there plenty, wouldn't you say? Speaking of which, well, babies, you got to get over to the sponsors page. If you ever planning on coming to visit Crestonia or doing anything like that, well, we got a page for sponsors, and some of them just happen to be local little B&Bs, okay? So there's that beautiful little log cabin our good friend Ala Ula operates, man. Ooh, cabin in the pines, wouldn't you say? Baby, take a look at that. And then the other thing is Joyful Journey, man. Joyful Journey Hot Springs. Ooh, June 21, we're going to have some fun, as we go like from basically from 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to do a little opening ceremonies for the Inner Visions Conference there at Joyful Journey. It's a 5-day event, goes on all the way through the weekend. Saturday there'll be some vendors there too, as well as a whole bunch of speakers. It's a time you want to be here now. They got campgrounds if you're coming on a budget. There's other places to stay around. They got great little teepees. They got great little yurts, and they got one that's called the Crystal Yurt. If you get right on it, you might get the reservation on it. A good friend of mine had it last year, and she had a blast over there. I mean, it was just really high energy. The real magic of that place, of course, is the water, the mineral waters themselves, those hot mineral waters. And, it's one of those few places where you can actually get in a hot one. If you want 110, they got one. Well, not all the time. It's like 108 to 110. But wow, I've been in it when it was 112. You feel like a boiled lobster. You can't stay in for a real long time. But oh, baby, it's magic, man. It's like, renewing your life right there. I call them the embryonic waters because that's what they are, and that's the real magic. But see, that magic kind of flows out into the presence around us the same way water does. That water gets up in the atmosphere and shares its energy. It steams up all the time, man. Shares its energy with all those people around you. So, babies, it's amazing what happens in situations like that. You got a great staff there. I mean, these guys just rock my socks off. They just go out of their way to accommodate people and take good care and keep that place cleaned up and keep everybody happy and rolling along. Now we got to encourage them to build another pool out there if they got water enough for it. A little larger one. They could put a fence on 3 sides of it, and on the 4th side, just like they do down there at the 3rd pool now, that glass front looking at the mountains there. Oh my goodness. The view from there, that outdoor pool out there right now is like just amazing, man. The energy is incredible. It's a great place to go and get your stuff back together again, especially if you're feeling a little broken and scattered. Like a lot of us have. We've really been through it these past few months and years. It's been a wild effing ride, man. But babies, it's coming back to our side of the planet, our side of the reality, which is to say, the children of the earth are being honored in this day. And see, little magical places and moments like what I'm describing there at Joyful Journey Hot Springs, Villa Grove, Colorado. You get over to the CoyoteClub.com and check them out. They're on the sponsors page. I got some more coming up. We got some real interesting sponsors. Like I tell you, we believe in the green and we promote the heck out of it too, because it's legal here, and it's beautiful. And it's beautiful to be able to practice after all these years of having to keep it hidden. It's beautiful to be able to come out in the open and just be the Pot that each and every one of us is. And by the way, there at the CoyoteClub.com, go to the gift shop there. I got a neat little certificate, might get you out of trouble someday. You should take a look at it. What's it called? The Papal Dispensation, man. You know how the old popes, the Catholic popes way back in, the Middle Ages and all that stuff, used to sell favors, so if a guy wanted to go out and commit warfare on the whole dang planet, the Pope would say, well, gee whiz, that's about 35 million ought to cover that. And so the dude would, he was safe. He had a pass to heaven, no matter what he did. Well, in that same energy, that same light, only in more of a satiric way, the Pope Mary J. has decided to display, a beautiful little certificate for you today. It's personalized with your name on it, and it's signed by, my Papal Presence and Mary Jane herself, there on the front of it. And it says you got, you can participate in the sacred herb all you want to, anywhere you want to, at any time you want to, because you got this papal dispensation, see. Now, in some legalities, that may not hold a lot of water, but if you can get the cops laughing, man, pretty soon you'll be token down, and, they'll be taking off their guns and ammo and stuff and shutting down the radios and partying with the people in the way they ought to be, man. Just relax. If somebody gets nasty, well, they know how to take them out. They don't have to be weird about it, or make it like it's warfare against the people. Screw all that and shit. Just relax. Talk with me here, Jack. Pope Mary Jane says so. Look at my little certificate. And it's like, just, it carries an energy. Just like I'm talking about there, Joyful Journey, how that magic water affects the atmosphere around it, and the people are just magic too. I mean, naturally makes them that way. They're probably that way before they ever get there, And by the way, our compliments to Marquita, who is now retired from, being the event manager, etc. there at Joyful Journey. Wow. What an awesome little redhead, flaming angel she is in this reality. A brave woman, if I ever knew one, let me tell you, and a gracious heart through and through. But she really did a great job there and really left a great energy behind her too. And I'm sure she was influenced by that magic I'm talking about as well. See, but this is our reality, and little spots like that there are there to remind us of our truths. Because we can live in it more closely in a place like that where the magic's in the atmosphere automatically, a little more dramatic than we see it before. Now, yeah, you got to be sensitive. Some people would go there and say, what are you talking about, old man? I'd say, well, you bet. Here, listen to this tune. Maybe I'll open you up. You want to talk this shit? In other words, you want to go there prepared. You want to be ready for the experience of this water. You want to be ready for the magic. You want to know that you are magic already. So this just adds to your flow. It's not the be all end all. That goes somewhere else, doesn't it? Yeah, right to the moment you're living in right now and the person that you're living in too. The presence that you are. See, that's what we're talking about is presence. And different little places on the earth have different presences about it. They draw certain energies to them. It's kind of strange how that works, but yet it does. And if you're much of a traveler, you've seen a lot of that. It's amazing. Like one town, the folks will all be friendly, and there'll be a local cafe or two there that just like everybody goes to, and they all rock down. It's got real feeling of community, but it's real friendly and open to strangers until you digress with one of their daughters or something. I mean, you got to be cool, you know what I mean? So anyway, but then the next town down the road, the people will be silent, won't even talk to you, won't look you in the eye, walk on by like you're not there, man. And the message is real clear: get out of here, stranger. We're all interbred here, and we don't breed with strangers, man. Baby, it's amazing the colorful ways we have chosen to express and experience ourselves in this reality. But a lot of us haven't been aware of the energy fields we've been living in. A lot of folks been kind of asleep to that. Like an airport, it's got an energy field. A hospital has an energy field. And different vibrations in different places, different locations. Some of them are friendly and some of them are cold as ice. And you can't wait to get out of that place, Some places just dark as hell, man, hell itself, I could name cities right now, but I won't. I'll be kind today, okay? It's a Coyote thing, man. But yeah, you see, everywhere you go, there's a vibration. See, but the message in that, in recognizing all these different vibrations as you travel around the world, is to notice The different vibrations in people, the energy fields that we create and live in our very selves. Our perceptions, in other words, and the ability of that perception to greatly alter the reality around it. Greatly so. But see, you can't think your way into this scientifically, though it'll point that direction. It always does, ultimately. You see, the energy, this is what our technology here is reminding us of. We are united in the energy of creation, and very handily so, and very good at it, even if we do make funky mistakes, and let things get out of hand sometimes. Well, how else are we going to motivate ourselves to get over it if we haven't had enough of it? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? And I think we're getting pretty close to that point right about now, ain't we, babies? We are. And then some. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about putting up with the political atmosphere the whole dang world's had to put up with. I'm talking about the personal situations that won't resolve themselves. I'm talking about people with agony in their heart that can't get along with anybody. They think they're the only one in the whole wide world and that the whole wide world's against them. And by golly, if you see it that way, it's going to be it that way, isn't it? Till you meet some little angel that reminds you it ain't that way and doesn't have to be that way. If you just be a little kinder to yourself, you'd start being kinder to others too, And if you've got like addictions that are crippling you, don't lie to yourself about it. Shit. That's as common as a toothache now, man, but the easy part is letting go when you're finally full, when you finally have had enough of it, see? There ain't no DTs built into that. Now I've known some former addicts that have told me stories like that, so this is how I can say it with some kind of authority. It can be pure magic instead of living hell. It's all in the way we approach it, and if you give yourself some time to build up to it, and be ready for it, it'll seem like it hardly happened. And you step away from some of the worst addictions you ever saw just by letting yourself move that way energetically, and not by just throwing it away and doing it cold turkey. But that works for some, but that's where the hell is, And a lot of folks get hospitalized at times like that because it's so intense, these DTs, these withdrawal symptoms as they call them. You see. Some real nasty energy behind. Talk about an energy field. There's some real nastiness in that one, They wipe you out real slow like, but they wipe you out and they make a ton of money doing it and finance, well, who knows where all that money goes. But you think about it, all the gazillions that has been pouring through that industry for who knows how long, see. That's the energy field you're involved in. It's fueling the fires of hell itself. But, see, you're not doing it intentionally. You just wanted a good buzz. You were in a lot of pain. You needed some relief, man. Doctor got you hooked on, ludes or something. And then after a while, they cut you off. You had to go get some somewhere or get something. And you did. So what? That's then, this is now. See, you're a different person now. You opened that door a while ago to the perception of change as far as addiction goes. You knew it's time. That you felt that presence coming, just like some people feel their death a coming and start to have all those recollective moments where you start to rectify yourself with your life. It's kind of like that. It's magic. But it's human beings in motion. It's our true power coming forward. And it's announcing to the world that nobody has to be addicted to anything if they don't want to be. There's another way to relieve the pain, which relieves all the symptoms that created even further pain, etc. Through the addiction, I mean, There's a way of letting go. There's a way of being in a rock and a roll. Of course, I always suggest Mary Jane as part of that therapy, marijuana if you want, or cannabis as part of that therapy. If you can't smoke it, well, there's lots of ways to make it edible, etc. It's good medicine, and I'll tell you, if you're going to have symptoms, it's going to ease those right away. But what you really want is to see through it. And, Mary Jane, in times like that, if you allow yourself to work up to it, don't be kicking yourself in the ass or anything. Just be kind to yourself. Let go of the whole conception of it in the first place, don't you know? understand you just got caught up in some odd sort of flow. It's kind of destructive, of course. Well, shit. C'est la vie, man. Here we are now. You know, this is the and how moment. This is when you begin to realize the truth of where you've been and what you are. And Mary Jane will help you see it, but she's not a necessity. It just softens the edges, you know, gives it that more feminine feeling. So it's a little softer. It's a little more nurturing. You know, I remember the first time I ever smoked pot. It's like I was taking LSD or something. For me, it was like, wow, expansive, quick. You know, the first time, not. The second time, yes. You know, and boy, we went places together. She and I mean, Mary Jane and I. And we still do, man. I mean, we're travelers, you know. And we love to experience all facets of creation. And you're going to find yourself the same kind of spirit adventurer too, because that's your real truth. And that's what you're here mostly for, is the adventure of it and the sharing of this grand adventure we call life, which is such a warped and misapplied aspect in this reality we call 3D. I mean, it's just so weird here. Everything's just not what it ought to be. Backwards mostly. But mostly it's 180 degrees from its own truth, really. Living itself upside down to boot. You know, it's kind of hard to walk on your hands all the time. You know, just ask somebody that does it. It gets old, man, you know. But see, until you get those calluses on your hand, you get tired of getting stickers in them and everything. Well, until you're done with all of that, you are going to be walking on them hands. It seems the minute you really have had enough of it, and you only know when that moment is, might be right now, eh? Because that moment does exist. You know it already, see? You created it right here in this 3D just by thinking about it, don't you see? So now you empower the heart to let it be, because that's what the heart's given to us, is the ability to set ourselves free in a way that's more natural than any we've ever known before. That's energy work. INNERG. Energy work. But inside, you know, you let the heart medicine flow. You tune in here to the Hazy Radio day after day and rock your heart out. Start to feel life again. Start to feel love again. You start to know the truth of love. That it is always soft and steady and always there. As long as we're living and breathing, it's there. In everything. You know, that's our simple truth. That's the one person in everything. That's what everything, from the most infinitesimal expressions of light to the most expansive and glorious creations there could ever be, is made of. Everything. It's that LOVE. You know, and in a way it's a romantic tale, hell yeah. But it's not as we experienced it here in the 3D now, is it? See? This comes forth more naturally. Because the birth presence, that is finding your place of being here, begins quite naturally, right where you are, right in this moment of now. See? Doesn't take anything more than that. Just experiencing this here, right now in the 3D, makes it multidimensional. Don't you see? But at the same time, as your heart opens and this energy awakens inside, then you begin to slide into the center of your person. If there's an experience like every energetic presence within your person, which has at times felt very fractured and separate and invasive almost, yet it's you. You know, you just been tricked into seeing yourself in different ways. That's all. So you've allowed some other energies to flow through you that probably weren't as complimentary as they could be, to say the least. But at the same time, you can be released in this moment right now just by realizing the love in all of that activity, the base core of life, the thing that everything is made of. That's a person. That's Great Spirit. That's Mother Love. That's Mary Jane. That's Papa John. Not the pizza guy. That's another one. That's all of us. Each one of us and all of us together. As a very little saintly children of life that we are. You'd never know it, though. We're such klutzy little clowns, ain't we? Always pushing each other around, putting up no trespassing signs, and being all defensive, you know. Well, darlings, we're learning to live in a little different flow than all of that. But let that medicine flow through you and let yourself feel it too, all the way through. You know, out your whole person, from center outward. It's like blossoming, baby. You feel it that way, too. It's letting go some old pressures and energies that held us backwards forever, man. You know what I mean? Especially in the heart area, but all through our person. Whatever seems to be out of kilter is beginning to rectify itself right here in this moment. In fact, it's already rectified because we see it that way, man. So whatever we got to go through to complete the process, here we are doing it, man, right now. It's a beautiful day. We're having it our way. Here on that hazy radio network with your old buddy, Grandpa Coyote, and your old buddy, too, little Obi-Wan Kenobi, the whiny weenie dog of love. I can't help it, he whines a lot, but he loves you for it, okay? How about you? You love yourself too? Oh, rock and roll. Now you see yourself as I do. And you know why I love you so much. So come on back tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock in the morning here. That is Mountain Time. I don't know if it's daylight or standard right now, but you know, get on the time converters there on the internet. They're free. And enter 8 a.m. Mountain Time, and you'll get the time in your local area, wherever you may be. And don't forget the hazyradio.com cell phone app, smartphone app. It's good for iPhones, it's good for cell phones, and you can have Grandpa on the go, don't you know? Right there on your phone, man. It's pretty wild, so check it out there at hazyradio.com, okay? Babies, we love your way. Thanks for being here at Spring Creek, the headwaters of the truthful flow of life, man. Yeah, from 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky. Ooh, babies, take off and fly.